Good afternoon. Appreciate you all coming. We want to kind of go over some points, kind of a little small update, and kind of go over some people that we want to make sure that we recognize and talk about a little bit today, and go over all the team effort that we've done. I'm Mayor Matt White of El Reno, Oklahoma, and we first of all want to thank Governor Stitt. Thank you so much, Governor, for being out here today. Governor Stitt's been on the telephone right after the event happened, called me the very next morning. We've been on the phone, been in contact with Mark, and we want to go over everything and kind of tell you play by play how things are going. Then Governor Stitt and I will take some questions at that point in time. Basically, the general information is basically where it stands. We've had 2 fatalities. We've transferred 16 ourselves to different locations throughout not only El Reno, but also to different locations in Oklahoma City, and there were self-transported 13. So there's still people in the hospital. There's been injuries from minor to serious, and those people are still touch and go at this point in time. I do want to kind of go around this room. All these people are very important. I want to recognize the ones that have absolutely helped us in situations, and also the ones that have been on the ground. First of all, I want to introduce our Chief of Police, Ken Brown, and his team have been impeccable. Chief Brown's experience has been unbelievably helpful for this situation, and him and his men and women have done an outstanding job of handling 911 calls and getting on the ground, basically going room to room. Cannot say enough about Chief Lagali. Chief Lagali is an old pro at this. Chief Lagali is absolutely trained in this. We're lucky to have him and the men that he has working underneath him in order to do this. Chief has been outstanding, worked tirelessly trying to coordinate the whole thing, and we've had Chief Brown, or Chief Lagali, we've been funneling everything through Chief Lagali as the main point, and he's done an outstanding job with him and his team. And Sheriff West, Chris West, along with his sheriff department, have been a mainstay for us, helping us basically get all of our backup that we needed and all of the information we have, and also absolutely on the ground with helping us with everything we got to do. I can't thank enough for Andrew and Mark. Andrew's our local with the Canadian County. Mark's done a great job with the state. We've been on the phone with them back and forth for the last couple of days. We're getting all the assistance we can. The governor's been very helpful at that point in time. I also want to introduce our city manager, Jeremy Frazier, who's helped us coordinate everything, make sure that we've done everything properly, and help us basically stay focused, and we've done a great job with that and all his leadership. Jeff Cobb, our Public Works, another one that's an old pro at this. Jeff and his team absolutely went out in the storm with the heavy equipment and moved the lines up and moved them all out of the way, and helped those people get in and out in order for us to do our job, Chief Brown, Chief Lagali, in order to get the people in and out at that point in time. And I can't thank enough for Tim Gatz with his team. Tim's called us, another one that called us immediately that night, and dispatched Brian Taylor, and of course the man on the ground, Tommy Overholster, who's done a great job, a local guy from the state, ODOT, helped us close down the road and open up the road at that point in time. We also have some people here that's absolutely helped us with everything else, and I want to introduce Craig McVeigh, who's helped us coordinate. Craig McVeigh is the superintendent of El Reno Schools. He's always been here for our community. We have a great partnership with the school system. He's the one that helped us get this spot right here and make this our destination for people getting help. And Craig and his staff is outstanding. And then our assistant city manager, Matt Sandage, has also been coordinating everything else. And I can't thank enough for our representative, Rhonda Baker, who's been on the ground and been in contact with us, along with Denise Hayter, and our 2 representatives, and of course our senator. Senator Paxton and I have been in touch the whole time, calling back and forth and getting us resources and making sure, Mark, we all got together and talked, and we really appreciate all those people. We cannot do it without their support. It's important that we have their support. And our county commissioner, Mark Hayter's here with us today, along with Jack Stewart, has been involved, along with Dave Anderson, who was here on the ground when it first happened. I don't want to not name anybody or forget anybody at this point in time. I don't think I did. I hope I didn't. Chip has been great coordinating all this and helping us get everything together, and we appreciate all the state's help. So at this point in time, I want to thank the governor. The governor and I and his daughter, beautiful daughter, went out and checked out the site. And Piper, we could not believe the devastation that we saw out there. It's unbelievable, unbearable. Those houses were decimated, were tore up, were just leveled in the hotel room. So we really appreciate the governor and his support. This would absolutely not work if it wouldn't be a team effort. And I will tell you right now, I think this will go down in history, that you'll see that this team, along with the local level all the way up to the state and federal level, which governor will tell you about his telephone call in a second, which we're excited about, all eyes were on El Reno, Oklahoma. All prayers were on El Reno, Oklahoma, and all hands were on deck. And that's going to be a proven fact that what we've done. We've had some serious tragedy. We have lost a life here in El Reno. We have several hundred families displaced. And our community, Governor, is one of the best. And I'm going to speak that way because we could not do it without the people that live in this community. They're strong, they're resilient, they care about us, they care about their neighbors, and they have good Christian values, and they want to help people. So we could not do it without the citizens of El Reno. So we thank all the people that stepped up. And as you see these stories go on, Chief Legale, Chief Brown, we'll have all these stories that you're going to see of people dedicating their whole life, maybe the loss of their life in order to save someone as the days come through. So, Governor, your support and proven by your people that you have in place is unprecedented. So we appreciate all your help. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, thanks, Mayor. And it's been a rough couple weeks for Oklahoma. I've traveled to western Oklahoma and saw the flood damage there. We've been to eastern Oklahoma with Skiatook and Avant that had severe flooding. Also then down south in Muskogee where it's just been, it's basically worse than the '86 flood right now. They're still peaking out right now. The Arkansas River is continuing to open up the floodgates. We're now at around 275,000 cubic feet per second. That was another step up because of some rains that we've had. And so through all of that, and then we had this tornado in El Reno. So, I've just been so impressed with the team and what they've done the first responders. I can't thank them enough. I met all the firefighters that were there on scene that night. So our hearts and prayers go with those families of the two people that were lost here in the El Reno community. That's why we're here, to make sure that the resources are provided to this community. Oklahomans from all over the state are thinking about El Reno and asking me what they can do to help. So I want El Reno to know that. And then actually it was just, I was supposed to get a call last night from the president. He actually called me while I was touring the tornado damage. And so I got a chance to talk to him. He was over in Japan, and his thoughts and prayers are with El Reno. When he saw that on the television, he wanted to reach out to us. And he said, anything you need, just let me know. The federal government is here to support us. I've already been on the phone with the director of FEMA, also the Secretary of the Army, and they just wanted to make sure that all the resources that we needed were available. So I've signed the executive order and declared all 77 counties a disaster area, so we can start getting some resources to come in and help. And but anyway, just so proud of Oklahoma, how we're kind of coming together, and we're at a high school gym here that's the staging area, and helping out all the citizens here in El Reno. So thanks so much for all the support, and we'll open it up to a few questions.
Governor, can you kind of timeline it for us in terms of recovery efforts? What can we expect over the next few weeks?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to do a post-mortem on kind of how we can better prepare, at least for the flooding side. But right now, we've got water still rising in the east. So we're not out of the woods yet. We're still monitoring the inflows coming into the watershed and into the Keystone Reservoir. So it still could get worse. And I know that this morning they went up to 275,000. And so that actually won't hit South Tulsa till this evening. It won't be into Muskogee till probably tomorrow. So we don't know exactly where the waters are going to peak, but hopefully we'll get on the other side of this, and then we'll work on that recovery. But as far as the recovery here, the mayor can speak to what they're doing.
Sure. I think what we're trying to do is, that's what I was just talking to Chief Legale about. We've basically, with the help of ODOT, we've already opened up 81 Highway. We're trying to get a plan together. We've already had temporary fencing delivered out there at that point in time. In the next couple of days, we'll be opening up that service road back and forth there. We're in contact with the property owners of the trailer park and the hotel motel. So what we're going to try to do is basically cordon that off and have those people, a lot of those people have insurance on the business side, and then we have to determine that on the other side of FEMA and everything else, and we'll work through that process as we go along, getting everybody signed up for FEMA and everything else when they get on the ground. But basically, the cleanup's already started. Access roads are already there. We've restored power back to majority of the businesses out there located to, and then out there right now. And then we're letting Chief Brown, we're letting the residents go in the mobile home park that have not been touched and go in there today from I think 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock tonight. Is that correct? And then we'll let them go in there and get their items, everything else, and then we'll work through the process of assessing what's safe, what's not safe to be in there. Our city inspectors, Matt, Jeremy, they're on the ground. They were there yesterday. Is that correct, gentlemen? And they were basically there assessing everything. So our city inspectors will have all three of them out tomorrow assessing what's going to be safe, what's going to be livable, and then try to get those people back in there that are displaced right now and then move forward at that point.
We saw different piles of personal effects that somebody obviously set aside. Photographs, photo albums, medications. Talking about the importance of crews finding those, bringing those out, and when will people be able to go and retrieve those?
Well, and that's what we're doing right now. Basically, our teams are on the ground right now only for that specific reason, Aaron. The main thing is we want to secure those items that are there. If there's some things that weren't there damaged or some pictures. A lot of the guys that you're talking about piling up are people that are our teams that are doing that. And we piled that up so they can identify that and everything else. We're not really worried about the home and garden items or the rakes, but the personal items that have some personal touch or whatever else to them as far as the pictures. And Governor, you saw some pictures and everything else. So they're going to try to go through those, set those aside, and medication. Now, I will tell you, the mark was first out at the VFW post 382, and we've been working with Pafford at that point in time and St. Anthony's, and they were real good with the local pharmacist. John Smith did a real good job with that also of getting the medication we needed as far as the blood pressure medicine and a lot of the other medicine those people needed. So we've been feeding that back and forth. So they have the medication they need at this point in time. So we're trying to get their items back as soon as we can.
Can you confirm the names of the victims?
We cannot. We're handling that through the ME's office. The ME's office is going to do that, and we will still, once again, and I know you all kind of frustrated us a little bit, and not intentionally, and we're not intentionally with you. We want to make sure, because there was a Hispanic a breakdown of communication, which there's nothing wrong with. It's just we want to make sure we confirmed everything. So that's kind of where we were. We still want to make sure everybody's been notified to the proper families.
So when exactly, I don't know if you addressed this or not, when people are actually able to go back into wherever the damage is to see what they can salvage?
Right now, we're escorting those in. We started that process at 8 o'clock today. They're meeting back behind Cholino's restaurant off of 66 Highway, and we're going to escort those people in and back and forth out of the Skyview Estates. That's a mobile home park. We're going to do that till 6 o'clock tonight. And then we're going to reassess everything and try to make sure that we have everything secure, and then assess what buildings are structurally and safe to go back into, so we can portion off the devastated area that Governor Stitt and I saw and that the first responders are concerned with, and then we'll let them back in at that point in time.
Basically not structurally.
The hotel at this point in time, Governor, you can see that it's not structurally sound at all. Chief Legal, you agree? I mean,
Yes, that's what we're evaluating right now, when we can make that safe to let the property owners come back in and do some things.
And basically, the point in time, the conversation we've had with the property owner so far is basically come in and clean the site off. It's the hotel motel is not salvageable, nor are the trailers that are tore up on those basically 15 to 16 spots out of the 88 spots total in the Skyview Estates.
Governor, your first impressions as you saw it?
Let's get a picture to see. I want to make sure I'm going. There you go.
Well, I mean, there's nothing like when you're boots on the ground and you can see that devastation in person. It's just unbelievable how violent, and you just can't imagine anybody being able to survive. So I know we've got people that are fighting for their lives in OU Medical Center right now, but it's just amazing that our first responders got there, got them out, got them to the hospitals, because when you look at it, people that were on the top floor of that hotel, it was just kind of wiped out. Then when we saw the trailers, they're just completely demolished. One had the floor there, but a lot of them it looked like they were blown up. So we're fortunate.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So what are you doing to reach Hispanic families who are afraid because they don't have any?
Yeah, I got it. There's no reason to be afraid of anything. Here in Oklahoma, El Reno, Oklahoma, we're kind and care precious. We don't care anybody. Victims are victims no matter what color, race, any ethnicity or anything else. They do not have to have anything to fear for. We are all professionals up here. We were born and raised up here in El Reno, Oklahoma. They absolutely have no hesitation, of fearful of anything else happening. We want to make sure they are treated, that they are supported, and everything else. And we do have, Craig, I think we do have Hispanic translators here, and we've had it ever since basically we put it out on the first press release that we did this Hispanic Hispanic translator, and we've had one ever since on scene on every other deal. So those are just rumors, and they're not right, they're unfounded. We're not running down that rabbit hole. We are here to help people. These people are victims. They deserve, everybody that's been affected by that tornado all deserves the right, equal treatment of compassion and treatment. Period. End of story. And it will not be allowed in this community. And I want to make that clear so everybody knows that. It's absolutely a falsehood.
And for supplies, the VFW and also here at this staging center, if you need water, clothes, children's supplies, so the people that actually lost their homes or lost everything, the VFW was just telling us to make sure that we let everybody know to come by there if they need any kind of clothes, diapers,
Sure.
Water, food, etc.
And then basically the other thing is we want to make sure y'all understand too, we've been inundated with clothes and water and other items, and we appreciate that. I think we're getting inundated with repeat items that people don't know about. We don't have a really list out there. We do have a GoFundMe account set up at the City of El Reno website. And if we can direct people to that fund site and have them donate to that fund site, it's not that we're just trying to grab a lot of money, but these people have different needs like medication, shoes, and things and everything else. We've had people bring lots of socks out here and everything else, and that's all great. But at some point in time, we get so much of that stuff, we need to figure out what's going to happen later on, next week, next month, next year. So a lot of that will help monetarily. If you want to donate, go to the City of El Reno website, on Facebook page or website, and we have a GoFundMe. Allie, our information officer, and myself started that right off the bat. We've talked to the Ministerial Alliance, all of our churches, and they're completely full with all of their items at this point in time too. So really, that would help us if we could designate that to that site. Yes, any other questions? All right?
Thank you
very
guys.
much.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much.